Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so please open your student book to page 58. All right, your science student book to page 58. Get your highlighters ready. We're going to read and we're going to highlight the important sentences. Now, children, you must listen to the instructions and you must do the work accordingly. Okay? All right? Okay, the topic is hard rocks, page 58. 58, okay? Your challenge, find out which of your rocks is the hardest. You've sorted these out well, but there are other ways of sorting. How can we do that? We could see whether they float or not. No, they will all sink. Maybe some will soak up water. That's true, chalk does. We could see if they are rough or smooth. We can split them easily and how hard they are. Now what they're doing is they're trying to sort out rocks, okay, to see how they are. Now in order to sort them out, we can sort them out in color, in texture, how they feel, okay. Now one of them suggests that we could try to see whether they would sink or float. Now mostly rocks sink in water, okay, they don't float, they're heavy, they sink in water. But there is one rock which is chalk, which can not float in water but which gets absorbed in water. Chalk is what we write, on the blackboard. Many years ago, we used to not have whiteboards, we used to have blackboards, and we used to write with chalk on it. Chalk is kind of a white powder thing like a stick, and then you write with it. You do get it now also, you can write on the black slate, okay? Okay, so what do? Laila and Ali write, how many ways are there of sorting rocks? Now there are many ways of sorting rocks, okay? The children decide to do a scratch test. Scratch test means they rub one rock against another to see which is the hardest. They labeled 4 rocks from 1 to 4. They scratched each one with each of the other rocks in turn. They graded their rocks from the softest, every other rock scratched it, to the hardest, no other rock scratched it. The children rubbed each scratch mark with a soft cloth. Some of the marks came off, others didn't. What did that show? Now what you need is a selection of rocks, a soft cloth. Now you guys have got your rocks, so you can also scratch and see how it is, okay? Now try it yourself. What are you going to measure? How will you make sure that you scratch each rock the same way? How are you going to check the rocks? Check and record your results. Now this is only if you have rocks. If you don't have, it is fine, okay? What did you find? Laila and Ali made this table of results. After checking several times that the marks on the rocks were scratches and not bits of other rocks rubbing off, they put a tick when a rock had been scratched. So you can see they've used 4 rocks to scratch against each other, and then they have ticked or crossed whether it was scratched or no. They put all their results together and made a scale from the softest to the hardest. Which rocks were scratched by all other rocks? Which rock was the softest? Which was the hardest? Make a hardness scale for your results. Can you do better? How good is your evidence? What would you do differently if you tried this again? Find out what Friedrich Mohs, the German geologist who created a scale of hardness. Now highlight this, Friedrich Mohs, and highlight the German geologist who created a scale of hardness. So this is a gentleman who created a scale in order to measure the hardness of the rock. Okay. Now predict. Some rocks absorb water, like I told you, chalk. Will they be harder rocks or softer rocks? How do you know? Chalk is one thing that absorbs water, and also salt. Salt is also a rock. Okay. Explain how you could test some rocks to find out which absorb water. Try it. So of course you can put a rock in water and see, but most rocks of course don't, but chalk, yes, and then even salt, yes, is absorbed in water. Okay, so that's what we are reading for today, all right? And then there is some other work in the Google Classroom. Please look at it and complete it, okay? All right.